for someone who could light the way. Then you came to me and you gave me reason. I almost can't believe it. Every time we touch, I feel at home. There's no way I'd ever let you go. When you put your hands in mine, I know I'm gonna be alright.
You call the Progo song for that? Pretty smart. I'm still pretty decent too.
Feel like I am way up in the sky. When you put your hands in. I've been alone before, but never with you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very sore, sensitive subject video. This is a really hard video for me to sit down and make, but it's definitely been on my heart to make one, and I kind of feel like it's needed since I share my life with you guys on YouTube, and I always want my channel to be a help to somebody, and these videos and Googling stuff and finding out information and hearing other people's stories was super helpful for me when I was going through. It kind of helps me to talk about it, and it kind of makes me feel better because this has been a really long, lonely journey. I feel I'm ready to talk about it. The miscarriage is very fresh. It only happened a little over a week ago. I'm still struggling some, and I just want to get back in the swing of things of making videos and stuff, so I want to go ahead and get this video out there. This video will be very graphic, is to help others who are going through this kind of know what to expect. Although every miscarriage is different, just like every pregnancy is different. Anyways, this video will be TMI and very graphic, so if you are not here for that, I would just go ahead and click out. Don't want to offend nobody or nothing. I guess let's get started. My light's messing up. We got pregnant in the beginning of September, and we were super happy. As y'all saw in the beginning, I was gonna document the whole thing. We were just super excited to be growing our family. We were very grateful for our little baby. I woke up at 5 a.m. and I took the test, and it was so light that I almost thought it was negative at first, and I just remember being so grateful when it was positive. I waited till the afternoon and I shared it with Alec and surprised him. He was very shocked and we were very excited. We knew for about a whole month that we were pregnant. I had all of the pregnancy symptoms. I thought everything was going good. You hear that you have pregnancy symptoms, it means your HCG levels are rising, which means that everything's probably going good. So I held on tight to that because I do get nervous in the first trimester of a miscarriage. Like, that is always a thought to me when I get pregnant, and I'm always nervous of that. So I just tried to put that at ease and be like, everything's okay. You have symptoms and everything's good. A month after finding out, I found out before I was even technically 4 weeks pregnant. I found out very early on, like I said. My first doctor's appointment, I went when I would have almost been 7 weeks. I was by myself. My husband was working, and I went in with the ultrasound tech, and she did the ultrasound. The ultrasound tech was not saying much. She was very quiet. I was very nervous. I was like, well, there's just one baby, right? Like, I was just trying to ask her and make conversation and, you know, make sure everything was okay. She wouldn't say nothing. She was like, I can't tell you nothing. You have to wait to talk to the doctor. So my heart just sank. Like, I just knew that, I just felt that things weren't good. I texted Alec and was like, I don't think things are good on the ultrasound. And he immediately started calling me, but I was in the doctor. I couldn't call him. And after I talked to the doctor, I didn't even want to talk to Alec on the phone because I was so upset I couldn't talk to anybody. I talked to the doctor, and she thought my dates were off, basically. I'm trying to sum everything up, so this ain't a long story. She's telling me, I think maybe your dates are off. And I knew they weren't because we don't use birth control. Me keeping up with my cycles, knowing when my period is, knowing when I ovulate, like, that's how we don't have accidents. I'm very in tune with my body. I knew my dates weren't wrong. She rescheduled me for another ultrasound and blood work for the following Monday. This was on a Thursday, this appointment, because they just wanted to compare blood work, see if my HCG levels were rising and if anything had changed on the ultrasound. Thursday to Monday was the longest wait. I really did nothing but lay in bed those days. My husband kind of took over because I thought, okay, if I can just get through this weekend, then Monday I will get confirmation and I can start to figure things out. I already have anxiety, and this really just made it intensify that much worse. So it was really hard, and it still is, if I'm being honest. Thursday to Monday, I just felt paralyzed, like I couldn't do anything. Sunday night, my son was up all night coughing and sounded horrible. I called the doctor that morning. My husband had to take him to the appointment at the same time my appointment was. So while all this was happening, he got croup and ear infection, and it was just rough. And I went to that doctor's appointment, and I thought, okay, I will find out something today, and I will be able to go home with that. Well, they was like, we'll call you at the blood work. They didn't really tell me anything. There was no confirmation. My blood work was still rising, so everything was still doubling. So they was like, okay, come back for another ultrasound and blood work the following Monday. So this was my now third appointment. So I thought, okay, surely I'll get a confirmation this time. Well, they didn't confirm anything. They told me, just come back Thursday and we'll just figure things out after they got a third blood work and everything, and you can just talk to the doctor then and we'll figure things out. Well, Thursday comes around and they call me and they're like, we're canceling this appointment today because we think you should come in on Monday. The ultrasound looked different. Things looked like they were changing on the ultrasound. And so she was like, just have your fingers and toes crossed, like stay kind of hopeful if you can. And so I'm just blown away. Like, I don't know what to think at this point. I've been thinking, okay, I'm probably gonna miscarry, but now you're telling me that I might not. So I feel more up in the air than I originally even did. And on top of this, we're having a happily ever after party because we just got married in August, and we were having a party to celebrate with friends and family. And we were also originally going to announce our pregnancy at this party. I'll insert a cute little way of how we were going to announce it. And 2 days before the party that I'm finding this out, and my appointment's on Monday. So I had to put myself together and try to host this party, which was really hard for me because nobody else knew what was going on. In my mind, nothing is normal for me, and I feel just totally not myself, not put together, and like a train wreck. And I'm very just scared and sad, and I'm having to put on a brave face and host everybody. So it was really hard to get through that weekend, and then I did. I made it. I survived. And I go to this appointment on Monday, and she barely skimmed the ultrasound. I knew that some of my pregnancy symptoms, like my nausea and stuff, was vanishing. So I just knew before I even spoke to anybody that this is it. This isn't good. This is the confirmation I'm getting. It was a rainy, cold morning, and the nurse practitioner tells me that my HCG levels had dropped 10,000, and basically tells me you're losing the baby. Hey guys, so it's just a rainy day here, and I figured that I would just update. I went to the doctor today for about the 4th time, and I basically got my confirmation today. What is really going on? They wanted me to come back up there today at 2 something. That's my son's nap time, and I asked them if they could just call me because they basically are suggesting that I take some medicine or have a DNC or something to make the process faster because my HCG levels dropped 10,000, but they're still at 19,000. And she said that it may take a while for them to drop. So to make the process go faster. So anyways, the doctor wasn't in, so he's gonna call me, I guess, when he comes in. This has been a really long process. In just a couple of days, it's Halloween, so it's basically been a whole month of this. And I'm honestly glad that I just have confirmation today. I've had a little bit of hope. Last week I was supposed to talk to the doctor about my options, about making the process go faster and just talking about the miscarriage, and they was like, we saw a little something more on the ultrasound. I'm sorry the light's so bad, but they said I saw a little something more on the ultrasound, so they wanted me to wait another week to take an ultrasound, and that left me really hopeful because she just told me to cross my fingers and toes. And that was the best news that I had heard in 3 weeks. I didn't get my hopes up too much, but anyway, the doctor is gonna call me probably in like an hour and a half. I'm very just anxious for this phone call, and we will see where to go from here. I had all kinds of plans today of stuff that I wanted to get done, but after this appointment, I am gonna go cuddle up to my weighted blanket and just watch the rain and listen to it and try to watch some TV. I'm trying to get my son to take a nap, but it's not looking too hopeful. I just wanted to do a little update. I'm planning on making a video soon. I just don't want to, nor do I know how to. Just to actually finally hear the confirmation of it was so emotional. I basically knew for 4 weeks, but I knew now, like they actually confirmed it. And I don't like to cry in front of people, like I said, so it's really hard when you're in that situation to make it to your car. She was like, can you come back in and talk to the actual doctor this afternoon? I didn't want to go back to the doctor. I've had so many appointments. I was not up for it. I was like, can he just call me? It was raining. I just wanted to go home and cuddle up and cry and not have to go back into the world again that day. So I had to wait for his phone call. He didn't recommend that I had a natural miscarriage because my HCG levels were still really high. He recommended that I had a DNC. And if I didn't want to do that, then he recommended that I insert the
tablets you pick them up at the pharmacy, and you put 4 of them in the vagina, okay? And then 3 hours later, you put the other 4 in there.
Okay.
And then they start bleeding. You may, could bleed heavily until you get cramp, until you pass it, okay? And then once you pass it, if you see, well, it sounds gross, but maybe a sack or something that you might see, if you could save it, put a little Tupperware thing you could bring in to us, just keep it in the fridge until you could bring it into us. And then normally if you pass everything stops. The bleeding stops, cramping stops, and all that. Okay. Now, the downside of that, of course, is you could bleed and maybe just pass part of it to where you continue to cramp and bleed, because we have to do a DNC anyway. Okay. Today is Tuesday. It'd be good if you could let us know maybe something tomorrow.
Okay, I will.
Okay. So, like I said, either the surgery or the vaginal pellets.
Okay.
I mean, they're easy to put in. All right, Brittany. Take care.
All right, thank you. Bye. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm not a medicine person, so I didn't want to take medicine. That's always my last resort. And I was just like, can I call you back with an answer? He wanted me to call the next day, but I didn't because I just wanted it to happen naturally. They called me a week later and was checking on everything since they hadn't heard from me, seeing what I wanted to do. And I was just like, can you just order me the pill? I already knew I didn't want to do a DNC unless I absolutely had to. I didn't want to be put to sleep. I wanted to go through this at home. I felt like it would be good closure. And after they were so up and down about, okay, you might lose the baby, you might not, blah, 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 I felt like I wanted to let my body do it naturally, so I knew this was what was supposed to happen. It's like, the baby's not being forced out, this is what's happening. It just felt like more closure to me, if it makes sense to y'all. So she called me a week later. It was on a Monday. I just was like, do I have to come in for a doctor's appointment, or can you just order it and send it into the pharmacist? So that's what she did. I was able to pick it up that afternoon, but I was going to pick it up that Friday so my husband didn't have to take off work and we could just do it during the weekend and try to be as comfortable as possible. Well, Wednesday night rolls around and I go to potty before I go to bed like I always. I noticed that there was blood. It was probably around like 9 o'clock or something, and I wiped 4 times back to back and there was just bright blood with like brown in it, and it was a decent amount, but it wasn't like where it was like on my underwear or nothing. It was just when I wiped. So I felt a sigh of relief, like this is about to happen naturally and my body is gonna do what I wanted to do for me, and this is an answer to my prayers. I thought it was gonna happen like that night and happen right away, because this was the first sign of blood that I had seen. I was 10 weeks and 4 days pregnant, the first sign of blood I saw, and I thought, it's happening. I went to bed as prepared as I could. I thought that I would wake up in a lot of blood, but I didn't. I just woke up and went spotting the next day, so I went out and got me some panties to be able to fit the pads and that I could just bleed in, and that they would be comfy and just big enough to hold it and everything like that. I got me some cozy slippers and I got me a variety of pads, and you have to have a heating pad. I already had that. I wish that I would have got like training pads, PP pads for dogs to put up under me because of like getting blood in the sheets and stuff. Wish I would have had that, because if you don't want to do a lot of laundry, then I would recommend getting the PP pads because it's a bloody mess. So that's what I recommend if you're going through this, to just have stuff to make you cozy, have stuff to be prepared, and just make it an easier process. I went early Thursday morning and got that when I woke up, and I just thought, okay, things are gonna happen soon. They didn't, so I kind of just played the waiting game from Wednesday until Sunday. I just spotted. That was just my new normal. I was just spotting. And then Sunday night, we did a lot of shopping that day, and we're pretty busy on Sunday. In that afternoon, like evening, I was like getting Brantley ready for bed and just cleaning up the house and stuff, and I just felt weak, tired. I didn't feel good. I kind of felt nauseous, and I kind of felt like pressure in like my pelvis area and stuff, and I just wasn't feeling good. And I told Alec, I was like, I need to lay down, like I think I need to drink some water and stuff. I'm just not feeling good. And so I went and laid down. Alec always gives me a back rub or foot massage every night, and I usually fall asleep during it. I fell asleep. It was like 8 o'clock. He woke me up like an hour later. We went and got in bed, and around 12:30 I woke up and I had to pee. We usually wake up at the same time when one of us pees, and it makes the other one have to go pee. So we were both awake, and when I stood up out of bed, it just felt like more intense cramps than I went to bed with, and also the bleeding had picked up. And I just told Alec, and he just like tried to hold me and make me feel better, and we just tried to fall back asleep. But I kind of dozed off, but I was not sleeping. The whole time I was asleep, I was very aware of the uncomfortable pain I was feeling. At first I thought it was cramps, but I then later found out that it was actually contractions, and they were just getting more intense as the night grew. The bleeding was getting more intense, the cramping was getting more intense, and by 4 I just sat up and I could not handle it no more. Like I couldn't lay there no more. I just hurt too bad. I had to just get up and move, and it just was basically contractions where it would happen. They would last a certain amount of time, and then they would stop in between, and I could like breathe, talk to Alec, and then it would happen again. And I just had to try to take some Tylenol, even though it didn't help. A heating pad definitely helped me the most, but when you would move a certain way, you would just feel the blood just gushing out. That day, I felt like I was just laboring. I was having contractions on and off all day, so much pressure, and just uncomfortable feeling. I couldn't eat because my stomach just hurt too bad. Did not feel good. I tried to get up and do laundry. I couldn't. I just had to sit down. And I'm the type of person, like, if I'm not feeling good, I'm still gonna get up and try to do something, because I just don't like to sit down and do nothing. I like to be doing stuff. I'm just have a high energy level, and I just was trying to get up and do small stuff like laundry and different little stuff, but I couldn't. I just had to lay down. My body was like, no. And I just laid with the heating pad and just had to have it wrapped around my stomach. And the only time I got up was running back and forth to the bathroom, because I had to go to the bathroom a lot with all the bleeding and stuff. I was sitting on the couch at like 6:15, and I just had this massive pain, and it wouldn't ease up. It was just intense pain, and I feel like I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but it was hurting, and it was just uncomfortable, and it was just getting worse and worse. And the heating pad wasn't working. I tried to get on like my hands and knees, and I tried to lay on my stomach. I tried to do anything to make the pain stop, and I couldn't sit. I had to get up and just move around because I was hurting so much. And I went and got in the shower, and I just tried to put the hot shower head on my stomach. It honestly was helping a little, like, most relief that I had. And there's just blood pouring out in the shower, and I get out and I'm still in this intense pain, and I feel like at this point I feel like, okay, like hours start passing, I'm still in so much pain, and I'm like, Alec, like, is this normal? And I'm trying to Google stuff because I'm like hurting so bad. I didn't know if I was gonna have to go to the ER because I'm just gushing the most blood out all day. I'm in the most intense pain. And also, I thought since I was so early on in the pregnancy that it shouldn't be this intense. Though the baby was like 6.5 weeks when it stopped, but everything else was like 10 weeks. And I was passing the sac and the placenta, and that's why it was so painful. And I honestly just try not to think back to it because it was really scary, but I felt like I had to push to poop, like when you're delivering a baby, but it's not as intense, but it was still really intense. And when I sat on the toilet, I could feel that like I was dilated, because I felt like everything was gonna fall out. Like, I can't explain it, but that's just the best way I can explain it. And it was really scary to pee. Like, I was scared to relieve those muscles, and when I did, the sac came out, and then the placenta came out, and the placenta was the most painful and scary, and it was really hard to look at all of it. We did bury everything, but after the placenta passed, I just immediately felt like the pressure was gone, the pain was gone, and I just felt like this is over. Like, the physical part of passing everything is over, because I was wondering, like, will I know if I passed everything? I was really scared, like, of getting an infection or not passing everything and have to have a D&C, but it's just like, in that moment, I knew, like, everything's gonna be okay. You were in so much pain because of this, like, it's fine now. The bleeding eased up tremendously, and I just felt really relieved. I was really thankful for my body for doing it naturally finally, and me not having to do the D&C. And I felt like my body has failed me this whole time of this miscarriage, and really have beat myself up over this. And when my body did it on its own, it just made me feel more powerful and more like thankful for my body in a sense. It's really hard when you go through a miscarriage and to just deal with all the emotions and all the hormones that you're going through, and it's really easy to just like beat yourself up over everything, but just remind yourself of all the amazing things that your body does do for you. I need to remind myself more of how great my body is instead of what I don't like about my body and how I think that it fails me or whatever. I really have tried to be as positive through this as I can be. I'm trying to learn as much as I can through this, and I feel like my life has been on hold for a few months now. October was supposed to be a really fun month for us and had a whole fall bucket list for us that all got ruined, and I just want to be myself again so I can be the best mom to my kid that I do have and be the best wife that I can be. And it's really hard some days. I have my good and I have my bad days. I really just try to keep myself busy so I don't think about stuff. Otherwise I do just get upset. I'm trying to find a new normal. I've totally gotten out of my old routine, off track with stuff, and I'm just trying to find the new normal for me and find a new routine. Just figure things out. It's really just been an emotional roller coaster over the last couple of months, and I haven't felt like myself at all, and it's been rough. But at the same time, I have learned so much through this. I'm just trying to make the best out of everything that I can. So if you're going through this, I am really sorry. If you're going through fertility problems or you've had several miscarriages or whatever, like if you're going through a miscarriage right now, my heart goes out to you. I'm super, super sorry. I hope that my video and experience can be a help to you. We're not trying right away. We are gonna just take some time to grieve this and to I just feel like I owe it to my son, since I have been an emotional wreck lately, to just give him my all, spend a lot of time with him and focus on him and our little family of 3, and just get us all happy and healthy feeling before trying again, because this has taken a huge toll on us. We have the holidays coming up, and trying's just not in the books for us right now. We have a new year coming up, and we're just hoping for happy new blessings in the upcoming year. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for listening and following along, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.